Yo, what's good? What's up, YouTube world? Welcome to another episode of the fourth round on the Is We Poddin' Network. It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Ty the Ambassador, man. Got my guy Marabi.
What up? What up?
How you doing, man? It's been
It's
a
been a
while.
long time.
It's been a while, bro. It's been a while, man. Like 6, 7, 8 months since we've done something, man. So listen, man, over here on the fourth round, we pride ourselves in getting the cream of the crop, the best of the best. You know, we've had battle rap legends, right? We've had Rum Nitty, we've had Danny Myers on, Calico, you know what I'm saying? C3, you know, names like that. We've had notable hip hop legends, you know what I'm saying? We had my man Juice on here a couple years ago. Ill Mac, right? Crazy Bone back in February, earlier this year. Tonight, man, we got a guy, man, who is known as a legend, right? I feel like he doesn't really give like the full credit that he deserves, but he does a lot of stuff behind the scenes, has brokered some of your favorite artist deals. We got my man M80 in the building, man.
There we go.
Hey, I'll give it up, but ain't nobody else going to.
Yeah, what's good with you, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I'm in the freezing tundra right now of Detroit, Michigan, just working on all sorts of shit people would never expect me to have my name on, and that's a lot of records amongst like the Juggalo world, for the likes of ICP and Twisted and
Oh shit!
and Ritz and stuff. So we're doing that shit this week, you know, closing out 2025 in a very strange fashion.
Very dope. I see what you did there with the strange.
Are you at their festival? Is there a festival?
No, we're shooting some videos. I'm in the studio right now in a little side room doing this interview while my artist Nell is putting some finishing touches on his album. It's a project that's going to drop summer 2026, but features Insane Clown Posse and Mercules and Twisted and Chris Webby and Corrupt and OT the Real, and it's a banger.
Damn.
Fire. Mercules is out of Canada, right?
Correct.
Dope. Well, look, M80, man, I know this is our first time really chopping it up, you know, face to face, man. I always like to start off the interviews with a bang, man. So you got kind of a reputation as being like, you know, very straightforward, no nonsense type of dude. You know what I'm saying? I've heard some guys refer to you in some not so nice terms. You know what I'm saying?
What people often confuse is like on my social media and stuff, like I can joke around a lot because it's my platform. I'll do whatever I please on it. But in business, please believe there's no jokes here. Like I have my third pin post on my feed is literally, this is what it takes to engage me in business. And these are the rates. And this is what I do in X, Y, and Z. And over 100,000 people have viewed that post, and it simplifies the fuck out of my life. So people that typically have nothing good to say about me were either artists that wanted to work with me that instantly got shut down because they think I'm just supposed to be like, oh, wow, you want me? Great. Where can I suck you off? Like, that's not what it is. The majority of the time, I'm the table you're bringing to the room. Like, I am the fucking table. Like, you know, if artists like Rakim and Snoop Dogg and Wu-Tang Clan pay me to do my job, what makes you think you're exempt? And like, you know, yes, I could work with you free of charge and hope some cool shit happens, but I also know how long it takes to build an artist, and doing work for years upon years without compensation doesn't help put food on my family's plate. So therefore I have to be very, you know, restricted on who I work with. And, you know, thank God that it's enough of the legends that are actually like sustaining my way of living and sustaining my resume and expanding it, that it continues to make my occupation as running the world's first A&R firm versus a record label like a profitable thing to do that will always have consistent business and clientele.
Fire, man. My follow-up question to that, man, you brought up an interesting phrase, A&R. We read a lot about that in magazines. We hear it from artists, but I feel like a lot of fans don't really understand what an A&R is. And maybe if you could break it down in layman's terms, what does an A&R do, sir?
So first and foremost, A&R stands for artist and repertoire. And A&R, you know, hip hop is only 51, 52 years old at this point. Okay. So traditionally an A&R was a position at a record label, and their job is to go find talent. When they think they've found talent that's worthy of being associated with that label, present them to the executives, like the VPs and the presidents of the company, for consideration. If the executives like them, and remember back in the early 80s and 90s, it was just strictly based on talent. Okay. There was no metrics. There was no streaming and downloads and stuff. It was just about, is this person talented? So that's why that that era of music produced the most, what we'd consider talented MCs. Okay. Then, you know, the executives, if they think they're talented, the A&Rs would call them in for a meeting, and it'd be up to the executives to like essentially put a deal together for the artist. So I started the world's first A&R firm. Artists can hire me, labels can hire me. So it's like an 85-15 split. Like 85% of the time it's artists hire me, and I'm doing 12 jobs. But there's 3 that are like the quintessential, like cornerstone of my company, Holy Toledo Productions. Yes, I'm helping the artists construct their albums, the features, the producers. I am handling the what they call A&R administration, which is essentially all things legal, copyrights, royalties, publishing, sample clearances, licensing, song splits, contract reviews, you know, the most important things that go into a deal, because your average artist isn't well versed in the actual business of music and don't necessarily understand what any of this shit is. So when I tell people at home, the paperwork behind the music is more valuable than the music itself, a lot have no clue what I'm talking about and don't really learn that lesson until they've been burned. And that's very unfortunate. That's why I teach A&R seminars on my Instagram every Tuesday for the past 5 or 6 years, to really give people that game so they can avoid getting burned. Like people like me got burned all these times, trying to make sure you don't have to like endure the same pain and pitfalls that someone like I had to in my come up from artist to A&R to executive and now all things in between. The third part is record label shopping and distribution shopping. So then, you know, we've made the album, we've done the legal, we've brokered your deal. Then everything else after that, I kind of become the liaison between artist and label, working on essentially both their behalf. I'm assisting in the PR coordination, the marketing coordination, the radio coordination, the tour booking, the tour management, the licensing of music for events, and essentially all things in between. But those 3 first things are the like the most important and pertinent to my job. So I don't like have the same like disdain like artists have the labels. When typically an artist project fails, the first thing they want to do is blame the label. They never blame themselves. It can never be the artist's fault for fucking, you know, an artist feels like once they got the record deal, like they won the race. But literally in my world, that's just another hurdle. So it's like, don't pat yourself on, you can pat yourself on the back. You got the deal. But be prepared to pat yourself on the back hundreds of more times if you're actually working the program. And it's unfortunate to see a label or labels plural take a lot of the blame, because they can only do so much for you. The artist still has to be everything that's going to push the, you know, the goal forward. And it's really just about work. I've had artists hire me when I tell them how much work needs to go into their program, because it's not as easy as just, okay, you paid me, now let's go make an album. If you don't have the fan base, if you don't have the Polestar history, the media base history, we really have to put in a 1.5 to 3 years of work just to get you to the point where you're ready to make an album. It has to be about doing EPs, releasing singles, videos, building the social media, building your Spotify monthly listener count. These are all the things labels care about. And then making the album. And when you hire someone like me, I can network to various A&Rs and all sorts of labels. I've released over 300 albums on 75 plus record labels and distributors. So I have the ability to network. What are you looking for in a new artist signing in this year, and give that game back to my artists so they can tailor their music to get signed. And I've been in the game long enough to see it go from full-length albums to singles to ringtones to fucking EPs back to albums again. And, you know, that's the beauty of it. So it's like I really developed the fuck out of these artists to the point where they're able to achieve whatever they're hiring me for, whatever their dreams are to be fulfilled, versus just selling them a dream and being like, oh, well, we made a great album, but no one wants you because you don't have any fans. I make sure we're covering all the bases.
Right on.
You said the labels can also hire you?
Yes, thank you. That's the other 15%. So say there's an artist that's buzzing and they're in like a bidding war. Labels want them. It doesn't mean that the label necessarily wants to put them out right away. It's just to essentially take them off the board. Like, we want them as an asset,
No.
which You know,
Okay.
to give you an example, that's a big thing with like Dr. Dre and Aftermath. Dre signed tons of dudes that never saw the light of day, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So the label will hire me to be like, work with this artist. And when you feel like you have a single ready, an EP, something that's maybe we should green light the artist or fast track them with our schedule, then we will. So that those circumstances happen too. And when those situations happen and I'm someone like me is not involved, typically the artist is going to get shelved or just, you know, they will run their course and never drop music and then just get dropped from the label.
Mhm.
So for the label, you basically just try to get the artist,
Yeah,
and
because
like,
the label's not a label's going to sign you because of whatever you have going on right here and now. But
yeah.
that's not their music. The label, unless they buy the rights to it, isn't going to re-release it and eat off it. So they bring someone like me in to be like, help this person create shit so we should make them a priority.
Oh, I see.
Back in the day, major labels would say we're only going to release like 6 artists a year, maybe less. Independent artists or independent labels never like give that like the time of day. They'll drop fucking 4 artists a month every month for 12 months, and they'll drop artists like these 2 or 3 are going to come out on the same release date. So they're not putting the same kind of machine behind it, the same kind of thought process, the same kind of like personalized attention. So for a major in this instance, they really want that artist to be ready. And they can't dedicate staff resources that's supposed to be spent on shit they already have on their schedule. So it's someone like me that comes in and is like, hey, listen to this. We have like a 3-song EP with a single that's going to blow them out the charts. Okay, boom, put them on the schedule for next month or next quarter, and let's really nurture this. So someone might get bumped in that instance, or they just get added to a pre-existing schedule.
Right on, man.
Yep.
Eddie, you worked with one of my favorite MCs, 2 of my favorite MCs. We're gonna talk about one of them, man.
Thanks.
My guy, Eric Barbosa, aka Chino
Mhm.
XL, one of the illest writers, illest pens ever. Before I start asking you personal questions about you guys' relationship and work, we got an idiot in our Discord server named Cade, who is always trying to discredit Chino, saying that he was mediocre. He's never contributed anything significant to hip hop culture, bro. As an expert, bro, as a professional, man, please address this, man, sir.
Hey, Cade, you're 100% right. If it was fucking opposite day, you fucking moron. You can't name any other artists that are even remotely in Chino's league as far as vocabulary skills. You can name some people that would be like adjacent to Chino, like his cousins. So Chino's cousins, as far as like lyrical prowess and rhyme ability, would be people like Aesop Rock, Ghostface Killer, Cannabis, Eminem. These are people that could be in like the adjacent rhyme category. Descendants of Chino. MF Doom, sure. But they are not Chino. Chino would bar these motherfuckers the fuck down, dog. And then tell them to cook him a meal and bring it to his table. All right. When I was doing the album with Cannabis and Chino XL, that's the first time I ever witnessed Cannabis fucking scared.
Whoa.
Scared, bro.
Damn.
Okay.
And it wasn't supposed to be some like fucking Barmageddon. It was supposed to be like you two come together, make the best songs possible. And they were supposed to talk every week. And we're going to give Chino 5 beats and Cannabis 5 beats. And you guys like go over, okay, Chi, you're going to set it off on these first 5 songs that are produced by Jai Slash. Bitch, you're going to bar out on these first 5 from Body Bag Ben. Then you guys talk and switch off and really make songs. But once Cannabis just stopped, following suit with the program, Chino's like, fuck it. I'm just going to bar the fuck out on this dude. And that's when Cannabis just stopped rapping. Cannabis couldn't just one-up this motherfucker.
When was this?
We were supposed to finish the album a year before Chino passed. It was supposed to come out in Chino's lifetime. Chino literally fulfilled like 90% of his obligations on the record, and Cannabis just kept lying to the label week after week. He took 100% of the money up front and promises he would finish it literally like a month after being paid. And then the week Chino died, like 2 days later, Cannabis asked the label, send me all the references, I'll finish the project now. And I said, go fuck yourself. Like that's so fucking fake, dude. You had 13 months to do this while Chino was alive. And Cannabis, who was like, 90% already out the door. He just didn't want to rap anymore and just wanted to be an HVAC technician and didn't give a fuck about the rap. Well, you know what? Chino does care about the fucking rap. This is all he wants to do with his entire life. So you took the money and you did this multiple times and didn't give what you're supposed to give. And Chino really looked at this like this project could have like saved his financial career, because we had plans for a world tour, American dates, Australian dates, New Zealand dates, Canadian dates, Europe dates. We had these merch plans. We had listening parties booked. We had album release parties booked. Like he really, in Chino's passing, cannabis was a humongous letdown. You know,
Wow.
and part of the reason he had such disdain at the end of his life.
I got a question. I know.
No, sorry, Kane, or Cade or Fag or whatever the fuck your Discord name is, are 1,000% wrong.
Right on, man. Thank you for that, brother 80. Follow-up question, man. I know you've talked about this a lot, man. I was following Chino XL's actual IG page for a long time, right? Long time supporter. When he passed, it got taken over by his oldest daughter, China. And I have found my engagement on there to be very toxic, very like disrespectful. This is on the part of the people that are running the IG page now, right? And I know there's a lot of controversy with Chino's last project, Darkness and Other Colors, which honestly sounded like this beautiful piece of work. Sounds like a suicide note, right? And I guess his family, his oldest daughter, did not want that released, but you were all for it being released to the public. Talk a little bit about that, man. What's going on? Like, who do we trust in this scenario, man?
Well, I'll put it like this. I'm the executive producer of the album in Chino's lifetime.
Okay.
All the posts about the album that Chino made that mentioned me, they deleted to, again, try to alter history. Just like China has a partner named Stacey Castro. All Stacey does is go on Wikipedia pages all day and alter it to make herself look important. Stacey was one of Chino's old managers he had fired 3 times. Like, she didn't work with Chino in the last 4 or 5 years of his life. So it's like, but China apparently felt more comfortable working with some woman that Chino used to work with versus the people Chino actually worked with, myself included. And the craziest shit was, you know, like I said, I didn't know China existed. Chino did not mention her to me once in 17 years, but on a monthly basis, I would either hear about or see Lyric and Bella, his middle daughter and youngest daughter. I knew way more about Lady London, Chino's niece. Like, Chino would bring her up literally every time we spoke for the past 2 years prior to his passing. And never once China. Not once. So there had to be a reason for that, which I've deduced later and like after Chino's passing, to be because I gave so much goodwill to Chino because I loved everything about him and his family structure. Had I known that China existed and brought all this essentially harm to his life, which I found out after his passing, then maybe I would not have been so forthcoming with my good deeds to be like, hey, let me fund your, stem cell procedure to keep you alive. Let me, handle your IRS back taxes. Let me put a roof over your head. Let me buy you a car, things like that, which, I've reserved these great things for the artists that have meant the most to me and been with me the longest. Like Planet Asia came over to my daughter's first birthday, and it just so happened to be around the time of us working together for about 20 years. So he comes to my daughter's birthday, he brings my daughter a gift, and Asia goes outside and I say, see that Mercedes truck? That's yours. Like, it's supposed to be about my day and me and my family and my daughter, and yet here I am, like, bettering someone else's life. That's just who my character is. So Body Bag Ben has always owned the album Darkness in Our Colors. In contract, even before I met Ben, that's how it was. Chino brought me in like a year later on the album, and I became Chino's manager before I'd ever done the stem cell surgery stuff. He had a project. He wanted to do the vinyl release of Reconstruction. It had never been released on vinyl. That's his album on Viper Records from 2012. And Fat Beats would not do it for like 4 months. They just were like, I'm like, wow, how could you not want to do this? It'll clearly sell. We're talking like doing like 400 or 500 pieces of vinyl. Then once Fat Beats got permission from like Immortal Technique, because they suck Immortal Technique's dick, and they really wanted to be in the business of Immortal Technique, and found out that there was no like qualms with Viper Records, because I guess Viper, we used to be Tech, and this guy Jonathan, and now they're kind of separated. Then Fat Beats agreed to do the deal. So Chino was like, I've never seen anyone like go that hard for me to like close the deal. In fact, on the signed copy of the vinyl he gave to me, it's like eternal gratitude. Like no one's ever fucking held it down for me like that. Then he knows I'm not a manager, but I've been people's managers in extreme cases, like Cannabis. After the battle, his wife kind of like dipped with all the money he had and left, and that program was always only going to run if I stepped up. And I
you're
did.
Talking about, to clarify, you're talking about the battle
disaster?
The disaster battle, correct? Like
his wife divorced right after.
I don't know if they were actually married, but she left. They were together. She left.
Wow. Okay.
And then they have a son together. Capadonna, I brokered a tour for Capadonna. I brokered his album Earth, Wind, and Fire. I think the same year. It was like 2013 as the Cannabis scenario. And then his manager took his money and bounced. And the label's like, look, like we'll dead all this shit unless you step up and really like take charge of it, because we don't know Cap. Like a lot of these artists don't understand. A lot of these deals only happen because of my involvement. Not to say Rakim can't go get a deal or Wu-Tang Clan can't get a deal, but like I'm talking about some of these like if you're a member of Wu-Tang Clan, you are not selling the same as the clan. Your value is not the same as the clan. Therefore, a lot of them have relationships with me, so they trust the product will be delivered. The marketing will be done right. The tour will be set up, accordingly. So I had to step up and be Cap's manager. The thing with Chino was there was no one really in his corner like that. Like his best friend, Bobby, was kind of like the mouthpiece for Chi. But Bobby had real experience, like coming into these label meetings. Bobby was just a dude that like looked intimidating staying next to Chino, and then you'd see him at the merch table. It's like, okay, that's not enough for where Chino knew his career had bigger and better things ahead, and someone like me could provide those bigger and better things. Right. So Ben, I contacted Ben. I want to buy the rights to Darkness in Our Colors, and I promise you, I'll give the profits to Lyric. I will turn the masters over, the whole nine. Like, but I want the album to come out. He said, "Look, I'm going to see if China and them want it first because they've already hit me." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So it was no rush, and I get it. Listen, their father just passed.
Right.
I paid for the funeral. And then they told people I didn't. I literally have the receipt from the funeral house. So that's when the lying just got really fucking weird. Everything they were saying about me that was a lie, I literally could disprove in minutes. It was the weirdest shit ever. They would take it as far as like, and maybe you didn't go to law school. It's like, who the fuck lies about that kind of shit? And now you're like disrespecting me, you're disrespecting Rakim, like about, we literally paid the funeral home. Immortal Technique. Now, I'm going to trust me. I will answer the question in full. I want to make sure there's other things known. Okay. China didn't want to like me at first, and they even tried to set me up. It was my idea. This is after Chino passed. I was like, the girls should come together, form like an LLC or something, and set up a bank account so they could do a GoFundMe and they could have people donate. We don't have to sell anything. Just donate money. Like when Sean Price passed, that was, that's how fans around the world showed love to Bernadette and the fan Duck Down and Boot Camp Click and House Together by donating, They're like, no, we're not going to do that. It makes our father look cheap. I'm like, it literally does not at all. That's just what people do, okay? So this guy kept hitting me up on Instagram Messenger, and I wasn't friends with him. It was like in the spam folder and shit. And I saw we had some mutual friends, but he's like, hey, I'd really like to donate to this GoFundMe. Where can I send the money? I was like, it's not built yet. Like, I'll have to let you know. And the guy wrote me like several times. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to forget you. I told you when it exists, I'll let you know. This one time he wrote me, I met China for the first time. We're at Lyric's mom's house. And anytime I would take Chino out to like a rock concert, which we frequented many, that's the thing. Like, I love rock and roll music. Like, I grew up listening to grunge rock and I grew up listening to hip hop. But it's like, clearly rock and roll shows are more like wow to me than rap concerts, especially if they're like club shows and stuff like that. So me and Chino would go see like Tool and A Perfect Circle and System of a Down and Deftones and, shit like that. So I just happened to meet China for the first time. This guy writes me like, I got $1,000. Can I send it to you now? And I'm like, it just so happens I'm with China. China, this guy has written me 8 times. Where can he send this money? And she gave me her PayPal. And the guy sent it. He's like super appreciative. I found out weeks later, they were trying to set me up to see if I would take money. on Chino's behalf.
That's crazy.
That is
And the
wild.
funny thing is, people assume that I'm also like hurting financially because artists are. I work with over 200 artists, and I broker work for at least 10 a week. Okay. Who needs me in a given month? Might be 40, 50 artists. I'm getting somewhere between 8 and 30% for every deal I broker, depending on if we're talking Snoop Dogg or fucking Shakira or some big ass A-lister shit all the way down the line. Okay. So, no, I'm financially fucking fantastic. Thank you very much. And if I never stole from my friend in his lifetime, I'm damn sure not going to start doing it in the afterlife. Now his daughters need someone like me more than ever. Okay. So I found out that this guy was like friends with Slave Sever in China and was trying to see if I would take the money.
Wow. It's crazy.
No, I didn't take the money. So there was that. Then China writes me after I don't take the money. It was like, hey, I think we got off on the wrong foot. You know, there's some other outstanding invoices if you wouldn't mind paying them in related to Chino's funeral. She sends me these 2 invoices. I open one. The first invoice I open, Immortal Technique told me he paid for it. So I lose my motherfucking shit. I write her back, fuck you, bitch, fuck you. You thought I was going to steal from you in Chino's name. Now you're sending me a bill that Immortal Technique on the phone last week told me he paid. Nah, don't ever write me again. Fuck all the way the fuck off. So a month goes by and Ben says, look, they have not got back in contact with me to buy the rights. I've even called them several times. And they're putting out to the world on Instagram, well, there's a law that states in Chino's passing, all the rights to the music reverts back to us. That is something they made up in their fucking heads. I own the world's largest verse licensing catalog. And yes, I've worked with many people that are no longer with us. I have no control over that. I'm not God. I'm a guy who develops rap albums, okay? So in my verse licensing catalog, I have music from DMX, Mac Dre, The Jacka, Sean Price, fucking Prodigy of Mobb Deep, Godson, ODB. The list goes on. Abe Links, Nipsey. Like, so they're like, imagine if that was a real thing. Someone dies and the family just gets all the right back. How the fuck would the labels make money on their investment? Makes 0 sense at all. So they're trying to discredit Ben, saying that he doesn't have the right to put the album out, sell it, whatever. Ben literally has 100% right to do that. So I buy the shit, and in contract, I'm giving the money to Lyric and all that. Then, they're doing a smear campaign against me. Don't buy the album, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck do I care who buys the album or not? I'm not keeping the money. So you never once saw me make a post like, fuck these people, buy it. I'm just like, fuck these people.
Wow.
If you want it, buy it. If you don't. So then we had another album called Map of Bones. Remember, Chino left more albums like Tupac posthumously than he did in his lifetime because he was such a perfectionist. And even when Chino finished something, would go like the album Darkness on Colors was supposed to come out July 7th. Chino was still alive. When we heard the Eminem album like a couple days before it came out, the Shady.
Hey,
Right?
you're breaking up a little bit, man.
Well, someone just called. That's why. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
So he wanted to make a couple changes, and one of the changes was on the song that I'm on, "Words in the Color of Death," and that was another big thing they lied to the world about. M80 took the files to the song and put himself on it after Chino passed, like on some super morbid shit. So what did I do? I went in my email, found the date Chino finished the record, and sent it to me to approve, which was July 28th, 2022. Literally 2 years, like the 2-year anniversary from he passed. So someone's like, I think he planned that date. Like, that's the date he sent you the song. And I never thought about it like that. And I don't really want to think about it. But I played that version of the song for the world from July 20, 2022. And of course, I'm on it. So, I'm just knocking down their lies left and right. Like, and they can't just, every time they'd say something about me and I prove them, I'm like, prove I'm lying, I'll give you $1 million because I can fucking do that. every fucking time. Prove I didn't go to law school, $1 million. Prove I added myself. I never even got the Pro Tools files to even make changes. Chino sent Body Bag Ben the master that he approved about 10 days before he passed. And we have proof of that as well. Chino did the deal with 1332 Records for the release of Darkness in Our Colors, May 23rd, 2024. 2 months and a week before he passed. So we have all the proof in the world, and we put the album out because Chino told me this is my best, most personal body of work. You think I don't want the world to hear it? I don't care how dark it is. If you are an actual Chino XL fan, you can go back and listen to Chino XL music and hear dark undertones to every one of his albums.
For sure.
I honestly think that God's Carpenter is more morbid than
Really?
Darkness in Our Colors.
God's Carpenter was dope. Real quick before I pass it off to Robbie, man, is it true? I'd seen a post on your Instagram a while back, bro, that there was going to be a sequel to God's Carpenter.
Yeah. That was contracted in Chino's lifetime, and so let's get to that. And just so you know, after Darkness in Our Colors came out and after Map of Bones came out, to really just shut every M80 hater in the whole world up, now there's still a few out there because these people are just dumb as fuck, or these people just want to hate. And trust me, I get it. If I wasn't me, chances are I'd fucking hate me too, because I'm amazing. Suck it. All right. I've fucking worked hard every day of my life since I was 13 to become who I am in this very day. So if you haven't done the same, I totally understand why you hate me, because you probably don't work as hard in this given year as I do. Fucking 30 years later. Okay. So I made a post with Chino's middle daughters and their mothers and the administrator that is helping them, giving them the contracts, turning over the masters. They get accounting statements every Friday. They get to do with the money whatever they want. People still talk shit about me after seeing that. I literally walked 100% of my motherfucking talk.
Okay.
Now, Chino and Stu Bangers do the contract for God's Carpenter 2 in Chino's lifetime. When Chino passes and I tell Cannabis, fuck you, we're not doing the Cannabis Chino album, I'm not giving you the right. No, I don't give a fuck if all of a sudden you want to rap again. It's fake to me. You didn't finish it when he was alive. You fucked off his finances. Meanwhile, you're fixing heaters and fucking furnaces and shit. So Art, who's the owner of the Cannabis Chino project, I put him in touch with China, and they refused to give Art his sessions. They refused to give Art his money back. So I said, look, dude, that's the kind of people they are. They're trash. Immortal Technique at one point in time had offered to buy all the unreleased masters and give them to the family so they could profit and make the money back. Now, we never got to see if that was actually going to happen or not, because then the family started feuding amongst themselves. Again, that more lies of China to the public. China and Stacey Castro. We would never do anything to harm Lyric and Bella or cut them out of the estate. We just don't want to fuck with M80. You don't have to fuck with me. You don't see me online still actively promoting anything Chino XL. I am the A&R of a couple of these albums still yet to come out, but I don't own anything. And the shit that I bought, I turned over to the youngest daughters. And then what did China and Stacey Castro do? Fucked Lyric and Bella out of a say in Chino's estate. They are literally 2/3 of his heirs. But China went to court and was like, well, she's a minor and Bella has she has health issues and mental issues, and she's not developed enough to run like a business. It's like, dude, China's looking at her dad like a business when Chino couldn't even turn his business into a business. Lyric and Bella would have loved to be a part of it just out of the love of their father and to see real things. Like, do you think Chino ever wanted to have stash boxes? Motherfucker didn't even smoke weed. Or aprons? Motherfucker, I never went to a barbecue at Chino's house.
Yeah, I seen that they're selling coffee mugs, man. Like, it's
coffee
weird.
mugs.
Yeah.
They have a whole line of shirts and hoodies out right now that are like racially motivated, like Chino XL on the arm. They'll be like white boys, or like Chino XL on the arm, brothers, or like it makes no fucking sense. No one's buying this shit, bro. Listen to this. Do you want to know how bad at business they are? They have 100 Chino XL action figures autographed. You can never buy an autograph from this man ever again. He's passed away. And they didn't even sell 100 autograph action figures. They sold like 40 and had to stop selling them because it's like, you know how crazy it looks to be selling an autograph from someone that's not alive anymore and you can't?
Yeah, that's wild.
But you suck at business and no one fucks with you. Meanwhile, I've sold over 19 million things.
Right on, man.
I've sold almost 20 million records in my fucking day. Shit that bears my name or my work. From Eminem, from DMX, from fucking Jay-Z, from Nas, from Wu-Tang Clan, from Tech Nine, from E40 to Us Kingpin to Planet Asia to Corrupt to Crooked Eye to you name it.
Right on, man.
People fuck with me. So they'll buy shit that I'm saying this is official. You just because China doesn't get to eat off it doesn't make it unofficial or unauthorized, or whatever the fuck they say. That's bullshit, and only idiots would believe that. Chino XL still made it. Other people tried to steal the songs and change the names to them, put it on their weirdo EPs and mixtapes and shit. They didn't realize that Darkness and Other Colors, every song on the track listing is a color. Did you see that? Words in the Color of Death is the only one that's not
right,
like blue, obsidian, silver, black, great discipline, like that kind of shit.
My favorite track on there, I think, was like The Last Supper or something like that. You know what I'm talking
about? Yes. Crimson. Yeah, it's a Crimson joint.
Yeah, fire.
Yeah.
80, we're about halfway.
I want to answer your question now.
Okay.
So I came up with the idea to hook Stu Bangers up with art. Okay. And I said, look, Chino did like 7 songs for you. We did like 4 here. You guys get together. And even in that contract, I said, I want nothing from this. Any amount of money that you guys make, that's my entitled contract percentage, give it to the family, plus whatever they're entitled to on the back end, give it to the family in contract. And that's another beautiful thing. Like, I mean, you know, like, again, I make money. I got hundreds of motherfuckers I deal with. I'm brokering a show in Kazakhstan right now. My commission is going to be $300,000. Like, I sold a Lamborghini just to fund like the next Rakim record. Like, we're good, you know? So that way I don't even have to touch my bank account if I don't want to. I always have assets I can sell. I sell a fucking watch to go make the next Bronze Nazareth album if I needed to. So that's the good thing about me is like they've really perverted and distorted like my actual friendship with Chino when he didn't have a single other soul in his life that was there like I was for him, and yet I'm the bad guy. But mind you, I've dealt with dozens of other estates who passed away, and DMX family, you know, welcomes me with open arms. Come to, you know, come out to New York. Come to his, like, you know, they're throwing the parties at SOBs now, like the memoriam parties, or like, thank you for helping out with the funeral and everything you did. Like after he passed, immediately when our bank accounts were froze. You've never seen me have any flack with any of these fucking other estates. It's literally my best friend's shit, and that should never happen. Never, never, ever.
Right. Where's Robbie? Where you at, man?
I'm here.
All right.
Well, I wanted to ask, how'd you get involved with the Wu-Tang Clan, and
how did I get involved with Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
So this is hilarious because, you know, now in the year 2025, I could be in a crowded area, throw a rock, and you might hit a rapper. But when I started rapping in Indiana, in Indianapolis, Indiana, my first projects came out, my first cassette tapes, when I lived in Indianapolis and was in high school. I was one of like 5, not to say there weren't more than 5 artists, but I was one of the top 5 like rappers, and the top 5 were the ones getting all the show bookings. So I sold out a venue on my own called The Cube. It was downtown Indianapolis. It held like 800 people. I sold that out by myself for my album release party for my second album, Snakes in the Garden. Yeah, I know. But the beauty was I was in college. So it's a fucking 18 and up bar. And the majority of kids in college, your freshmen and sophomores and some juniors aren't 21 yet.
Yeah.
So like I had it on lock, dude. Like I was big on Butler campus. I did the same thing. I still had high school crowds because I was a senior selling records. You know, when I was a senior in high school, I'm selling records to freshmen, sophomore, juniors. So I had like all the schools that owned my shit, fuck with my shit, would go to the stores and buy the new records. And I didn't leave campus, whether in high school or college, each day till I made at least $100 times fucking 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, like I bought my first car when I was 17 myself. I had a brand new Ford Explorer Sport, 98. Like that kind of shit. I was killing it. So I sell out the Cube by myself. I have a show, this is like 3 months later, at a venue called Tiki Bob's. It's literally just down the street from the Cube. Also holds like 700 some people. Sold that shit. So when I used to perform, I would do door deals for like $5 a ticket, $7 a ticket, and keep 90% of the door. And then I would get 10% of the bar over like 2-3 grand if it was during the week, or 4 or 5 grand on a weekend. So I would leave every show when I was just coming up with at least 3 G's. No one was doing that shit, dude.
Damn.
People would be happy just to rock on shows or make $50 or $100. I literally never performed in my own city for less than like $2,500. So I'm walking to the show at Tiki Bob's, and I pass the Cube. They got these flyers in the window, and it's like, performing live 2 nights in a row: Raekwon, Inspector Deck, Capadonna, Kill Priest, Remedy, Law of the Dark Man, and more. And I walk in, I'm like, yo, I need all these things. Like, Wu-Tang's my favorite fucking group in the world. They're like, oh, the guy who sold the shit out by himself? Yeah, you could definitely be on this shit. Like, what do you want to get paid? I'm like, I'm in. I don't give a fuck. So I do the first night, and I meet Priest, and I meet Cap, and Remedy, and Law, and Solomon Childs, and we're just going over their music, dude. And I'm not selling these dudes on, hey, I rap and you rap, we should work together. I'm selling them on, I'm going to go to law school soon, and I'm going to study intellectual property and entertainment law and advanced contracts, and I fuck with your music, and I could be an asset to help you in the music in the future and make money. Oh, shit, I like what the fuck this guy's talking about. Get his number. Then I met Marty Laporte, who was their tour booking, or the tour manager at the time. And I did like 10 more dates with them on that tour. I went on the road with Wu-Tang, like those members. Then I would do a couple of dates on the GZA tour, a couple of dates on a Method Man tour, until I one by one met everybody. And I really credit Priest to helping facilitate all these meetings, to when I met Dreddy Kruger. And Dreddy's like, me and Riz are launching this new label. Like, you could be a valued asset to us. That you know, even though Dreddy and I don't get along anymore, Priest and I don't get along anymore, I'm not going to take away from the greatness what these people brought to my life. You know, unfortunately, it was them that ended up having bad business, and I kept the business good, and that's why I still have the contact. That's why I can still, like, I A&R'd the last Wu-Tang album that just came out. I did Master Killer's Balance album. I'm doing a brand new album right now, fully produced by Rakim, with Corrupt and Master Killer. Like, I'm always going to be in the Wu-Tang good graces, because I'm not a fucking moron, and I'm not going to burn that bridge. You know, there's been times where I've done things they've been upset with, but it's like, that's just because I understand the business, and perhaps you don't. Like, the fact I own a lot of Wu-Tang, like, verse catalog versus album catalog. You know, it's like, that's just how it goes. I own verses from everyone I've ever worked with, and then some. But that was my introduction to Wu-Tang, was me being the rapper and segueing from rapper into A&R. You know, of course, I served as the A&R on my own albums. I'm the one picking the beats. I'm the one aligning the features. I'm the one handling the administration for the paperwork and all that shit. But now I get to do it on a grander scale. And after the success of Wu-Tang Meets the Indie Culture in 2005, and, you know, people always ask me, what's the first song you ever A&R? MF Doom and RZA by A Chemical Equation. It's kind of
that's crazy.
Big, you know, feather in my cap, alongside Dreddy. People want to know who made this album. And then as the years went on, even though Dreddy was the face, people saw that my work ethic was way greater. That's why I got more business, and the Wu-Tang work became Redman work, became Crooked Eye work, Slaughterhouse work, Eminem work, DMX work, and the list goes on and on and on until, you know, 200 plus artists later.
Was it always your plan to go to law school? Like, when did you decide?
Yes. I literally just started rapping when I was 13. And around that same time was when I read like a Source or a Double XL. So this is like 93, 94. Talking about, I think it was the Locks. Well, it was definitely the Locks. I'm just trying to figure out if they had an album out yet or not. I don't think their debut came out yet. But they were talking about their fears of the music industry. Like, they've only known how to be artists this whole time. You know, they were the Warlocks, and Puffy got them to change to the Locks, and they sold their publishing. So it's like, they're already off the bat making all the wrong moves. But they're talking about, it seems like the artists they've seen, like their peers, could go from selling 1 million records to not knowing where their next meal is going to come from. But the people behind the business of the music never have that same kind of struggle or worry.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready to give up being an artist, because I just started. But I knew I was not going to be an artist forever. And I knew that I was great at school. I'm a, you know, not a straight A student, but I was a magna cum laude high school and college grad. I'm a cum laude law school grad. So it's like, I always walked that line with the top 10% of like the intellects. You know, I knew I wasn't going to sell myself short unless I was able to just blow up and become a world famous rapper and amass millions and millions of dollars. I was able to like maintain and contain realistic goals and expectations. Like, I want to have an album on the Billboard charts, and I did that 4 times. I want to tour America. I did that with the likes of Cannabis, Planet Asia, members of Wu-Tang, like as a performer, not just the manager. You know, I want to perform in foreign countries, and I did that. It's rap dreams, and then it was time to, you know, okay, let's focus on making other people's careers better. And I still probably have an album left in me, but it's the furthest thing on my priority plate or on my mind.
Right on.
What's your favorite country you've been to?
United Kingdom.
Maybe not favorite, but like give me some good ones.
If it came down to it, I would leave America and buy a house in the UK and just fucking live.
Damn.
I could retire tomorrow and live comfortably for about 18 years, 20. If I move back from LA to the Midwest, I could fucking live for about 40 more years without working.
Super dope, man. I got a couple more questions in, matey. Then we're gonna play a little game we play called Unpopular Opinions. Then we're gonna go ahead and end it, man.
Okay.
Real quick, man. Tell us about your book. You just released a book. Tell us about that.
The book is called 100 Ways I've Almost Died While Working in the Rap Industry, based on a fuck ton of true stories. I came up with the idea for the book in 2016. It was originally called Who's Your A&R? And the concept of that book was just going to be like my best stories from in chronological order. So from like, you know, like 98 to the present day, working with all these different artists. Then I realized so many of these stories had like this death element to it and like life-threatening element to it. About 2-3 years ago is when I came up with the concept to change it from Who's Your A&R to 100 Ways I've Almost Died While Working in the Rap Industry, and just highlight those stories where my life's been, you know, in danger.
Right.
And I think it's an amazing read because a lot of people really, I mean, people try to do the most. They don't know me from Adam. They have no idea, like, you know, oh, you've been to prison, whoop de fucking do, or, you know, you've been in X amount of fights, or you shot X, you know, whatever. They don't give a fuck. It's like I'm a white dude, so therefore I'm automatically a fucking cornball. Or I'm in the business of music, so I'm a cornball, like whatever. The book allows you to see not only a glimpse into my life and like really how much thick skin and perseverance you have to endure the shit, but what I think was necessary for me to do to become who I am. Like, I hate to say this, kids at home, but like, I really credit my fucking history as a drug dealer to being that good as a salesman in rap.
Okay.
Understanding those kind of metrics, understanding, you know, how that world works helps me in this world. Knowing that I've been to prison, knowing that I've had my fair share of fights, and knowing that I've had to lay a motherfucker down here and there. I can't deny shit like that. Cannabis does the interview and tells people, watch out for him, he has bodies. That's the one thing you know, when Chino's family's, or when China's telling all these lies about me and I'm disproving all the lies, you never once saw me go online. I'm like, Cannabis is lying. I'm like, hey, what do you want to do about it? I work in the rap industry with a fucking white guy from the Midwest. You don't think my life's ever been tested to that fucking length?
Yeah. You've been around for a minute, 80. I think the first time I ever seen your name, I was looking through the credits of See True Hollywood Stories, right? Cannabis album.
I'm not in there.
But I think your name was mentioned though, like in a rap or something, like maybe in a lyric or something like that.
See, okay, so if it was mentioned, that's Cannabis just playing off of Eminem's like Slim Shady and guys like I'm 80. That's right. So Cannabis hadn't met me yet. Cannabis met me in 2007, and the first album we ever did together was Melatonin Magic.
Okay. Well, where I was going with that was you've been in the game for a long time, man. So I got like a hip hop question for you, bro.
Sure.
What's like the illest battle you've seen in person that was like off camera that maybe the general public wouldn't know about, man?
Oh, I don't know if I can answer that one because I honestly have not. You know what? I saw Juice and Rhymefest battle one time in Chicago at the Congress. I think Rhymefest won that one.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. That was, I remember, like, you know, I went with Fest as a friend of Fest.
We had Juice on here.
Yeah. So that was, you know, other than that, I went to some scribble jams back in the day. Shout out to Mr. Dibbs. You know, shout out to Ohio. But
Very
I
cool,
wouldn't
man.
remember. Like I just remember being so much more entertained by the DJs. Like my favorite
Okay.
DJ, Spare Change, killing shit. Like watching Scratch Bastard in 20 fucking plus years ago. That's the shit I find more memorable than, other than that, I was just in rap battles that we'd see every week with dudes that, you've never heard their name because they didn't go on to ascend.
Got you. Okay. We like to play a little game on here, man, called unpopular opinions, right? So basically we go around, I guess, clockwise on my end, and we do 2 or 3 rounds where basically you give an unpopular opinion. Try to keep it hip hop related, but if you want to go outside of hip hop, that's cool. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And you just say something that's just not popular that a lot of people just are not going to agree with, man. And we'll let you set it off, man. We'll do like 3 rounds, maybe.
Oh, okay. So I'm stating something people would find an unpopular opinion.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ghostface Killer is the best member of Wu-Tang Clan.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. Not mad at that. Mine for round 1, I'm gonna say Biggie is overrated. Biggie is overrated. I think he was very dope. I think he had dope wordplay, dope storyteller. But I think he's been gassed quite a bit.
Damn.
As far as MC wise.
I think Fat Joe is nice. Like,
Okay.
I feel like people would disagree with that nowadays.
Okay. It's on you, 80.
Slaughterhouse should have most definitely moved on after Joe Budden.
Right. Dope. I'm gonna say this. I think battle rap is becoming too scripted. It's the reason I'm losing interest. A lot of people are losing interest. It's becoming too scripted, man. These people are on the phone with each other. They're besties with each other. I believe they're writing bars together, man. And I just think it's become too WWE for me, man. Robbie.
Let me think. It's tough. I don't like Griselda anymore. I think they're kind of cooled off.
Interesting. All right, and maybe we'll end with you.
Every record label wants rappers who make gangster rap, but no record labels want rappers who are actual gangsters.
Wow. Could you expound on that real quick? Expound on that real quick.
Everyone wants someone that can make gangster rap because gangster rap music sells, but no labels want to risk pissing the gangster off because that's what's going to happen when it comes to feeling like the gangster got short on their money and the gangster comes up and pulls an ice cube like in the Compton, the Straight Outta Compton movie. So everyone wants the rapper that can make music about violence and killing and fucking degradation and all that shit, but no one wants the motherfucker that's really about that action because then the white executives will be counting their fucking days. Me, on the other hand, the more gangster, the better, motherfucker.
Right on, man. I got 2 final questions real quick back to back, 80, then we're going to get out of here, man. One, if you could give any aspiring producer, rapper, artist, A&R out there some business advice on how to get in the game, how to maintain longevity, what would that be? And then second, would you plug your book and all your socials for us, man?
Sure. For the first question, for people that want to become A&Rs, it's really about having a good ear for music. Okay, that's the foundation of it. Finding an artist you believe in. That's also coming up. Okay, like unless you're like developing a company structure like me, where you just want to build on to what these artists are already doing. If you're trying to one day start a record label, become the executive, be the A&R, it's about having the ear for the talent. So please remember that because that's the most purest form of what music is, discovering someone that's just talented, just good. The numbers didn't matter in the early 90s and they shouldn't matter to you as you start your career, okay? Find someone you believe you can develop. Like you have the ability to be like, I can help you, okay? It doesn't always have to be financially. Just by believing in someone is a great help, okay? Having the ability to guide them in a meaningful way in their career. Like I believed in, I'm bringing this up because you brought up Griselda. I signed Benny to Holy Twitter Productions, even though I'm not a record label. I just wanted him. I believed in him. He hadn't sold more than 500 records. Whatever Conway and Westside Gunn were doing was irrelevant to me. I thought Benny was the most talented, which a lot of people agree with me on. And then as Benny got to the levels where I knew he could go, that's when it's like things got weird. And they're like, well, we don't need the white guy anymore. We did this on our own. Like, we can pretend like he was never there. Why would you want to do that? Why? I'm not trying to take anything from you. And luckily, me and Benny still have a good rapport to this day. But we definitely went through like a rough patch because it's like, I shouldn't have to sell myself on how great I am to you. I did all this. Yeah, it's there for you. I didn't see Steve Rifkin there. I didn't see this guy there. I didn't see fucking Snoop or Def Jam or whoever, but I was there, taking you to every fucking meeting I could, lining you up with my PR team, my marketers, my shit. Remember, Tan Talk 3 was the biggest Griselda record at that time. Nothing Westside and Conway had put out did those kind of numbers at all because they were focused on the limited run shit. We made Tan Talk blow. And then everything else became that business model where the only thing that could sell out is really like a vinyl. Other than that, you can still get any CD from any of them shits, whatever. So it's about believing in someone. You got to believe in yourself at the same time. But if you're not trying to be an A&R, if you're just trying to be a music executive or business, please model your educational path around that. Like, I want to take business and music classes or courses, like corporations, just anything entertainment related will help you in high school, college, and higher education if you choose to pursue that in your course of electives. As for my book, 100 Ways to Almost Die While Working in the Rap Industry, it is available in paperback and hardbound by clicking the link in my Instagram bio. My Instagram is almightyM80. For those of you at home that want to read the book and can't afford to, I'm not denying you access to the book. You can download a free digital copy. You just click on the link as well. Scroll down to free digital. Do not put anything in the cart like 100 people have. So I've made like an extra $1,000 from people just not listening to me. And they put it in their shopping cart and pay. Just click the transfer link. It downloads right to your computer. If you $12, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it $12 because that is me educating you to listen.
Fire, man. Well,
That's
hey,
it.
man, we're gonna have to do a part 2 one of these days, man. You just got so much knowledge and so much experience and stories, bro. I know this could have been a 3-hour joint if you had the time. Okay, we gotta do something about the hair, man, for sure.
No way, dude. Look at this shit.
Yeah.
Fucking glorious.
Right
Chicks
on,
love
man.
it. Chicks love the
We
hair.
appreciate your time and we appreciate your talent, bro, and all your
Thank you for
contributions
coming
to
on.
hip-hop, Brody.
Appreciate you. I'm gonna get this screenshot real quick. Hold on. Let's have the stories. Good deal. All right, now I gotta go back in the other room and do these bronze records.
All right, Eddie, appreciate you, bro.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Peace.
Peace.